Yeah, and to talk about those effects, Muriwai resident Carolyn Bell-Booth joins me this morning. Morena, Carolyn, it's lovely to have you back on the show. 6 months on after that devastating event, how are things?
Well, just seeing that footage again, Jamie, it's actually goes right to the heart. We're exhausted, and we need to be taken out of this uncertainty, and we need to be taken out of this trauma. As a community, I don't believe any other community has been as hit as hard geographically, insofar as so many people, over 100 households, still remain out of their homes. And we really just need help in getting us to resolution. And what that means is the first step is the geotechnical information that comes at the end of this month. And there has been an increased urgency from the council to get that information to us. That, however, then needs to move into categorisation. Again, urgency, we're pleading for that just to get us to categorisation, but categorisation in itself doesn't mean anything until we have a confirmed buyout process and valuation process. So with you having Minister Robertson on the show later, I would be very interested to know if he'll still be able to deliver on the promises of or the aspirations, should I say, of getting this process underway before the election.
Yeah, well, I know that, these conversations were expected to have been had and finished by, I think it was the end of June, and here we are in the middle of August, and you're still sitting in the same position. So what is the most difficult part for people? And I know that you've been on our show before talking about the fact that, well, you're still paying a mortgage, you're still having to pay rent, and there's so many frustrations for residents. So I wonder if you can talk us through what those frustrations are and what's been the most difficult part of this.
Well, complete and utter uncertainty, really. That at some point in September, we will be able to have some sort of supplement from the government to help with our accommodation costs, our temporary accommodation costs. But that won't fully cover those costs. In our household, we can no longer afford to pay our mortgage. So we've had to make adjustments there. It's about working with urgency and putting the desperate need of communities like ours first before the boardroom reticence and antics of reluctant council members to essentially buy into this buyout process. That is, as a human in need, the fact that someone else is delaying and extending your pain is an incredibly difficult thing to process.
What are you hoping from central government, but also local government as well? Because we know that part of this process, they have to have people come in and assess the houses, assess the land in which those houses are on. And it seems until that process is done, then there can be no movement. So what is the issue then with central and with local government?
I think the main thing is that there is absolute certainty and, again, urgency with the fact that if you are categorised as Category 3, that you will be bought out at a fair and equitable rate. Yeah. To the council's credit, the information that they are wanting to share with us in the forthcoming weeks, they are working to at least give us some sort of emotional security, if not legal security, and defining for people who are in an area that is geotechnically safe enough to return and geotechnically too risky for us to return. So whilst that might not be categorisation, they are doing the best that they can to delineate so that people can at least get a feel for that. What we're not sure on is the grey area in between, which is all the investigation that you speak of for the people who may land in Category 2, and what the reparation and remediation process might look like. Because at this point, you can only say it's going to be lengthy.
Caroline, it was 6 months that was marked yesterday. A number of people gathered at the Surf Club. Well, What does that mean for people in the community to come together? And I know how upsetting that footage was for you to see, but what does that mean for the community to come together who've had those shared experiences and still continuing to share their own experiences as well?
Well, being the resilient bunch that we are out here at Muriwai, there's a very strong connection between all the displaced people. We have a social media presence that anyone's welcome to follow called @RestoreMuriwai. You'll find that on Facebook or on Instagram. And also we have our own, internal chat, so to speak, so that we keep everybody informed about what's going on, and we actively work to advocate in council and in government to promote our cause. But I was just listening to your article about Hawaii, and that it was almost like there are two different lives being lived here. And that's the reality also here in Muriwai, is that there are two different worlds going on. So yesterday was an opportunity for everyone to return together and also start to consider what the future of Muriwai might look like once this, because that is also the concurrent conversation that needs to happen is where do we go? And the reason that's so important for everyone is that with climate change and what we've seen in terms of Auckland's risk for floods, is this could so very easily be your story.
Yeah. Caroline, we so appreciate you returning to our show to continue to talk about the issues that are ongoing for Muriwai residents, but also for those that were affected by Gabrielle. We thank you so much, and we hope, a collective hope that everything is resolved quickly. Thank you so much, Caroline Bell Booth from Muriwai. Thank you.
Ka kite.